Good evening, everyone. I am so sorry. It's going to be a profile picture for today because there's no electricity uh, in my house. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a short and a precise one today because I'm not sure if it's coming back, and if it's back, I will um, be back with the screens on and with my face shown to all my viewers. So yeah, hi, how was the week for me? It was okay. It was great. A bit stressful, but yeah, it was a good week, and I enjoyed it. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And before I jump into anything, I would like to say something. I would like to make a prayer. I would like to thank God for this day, and Father, we thank you. Uh, we bless you. Give us the wisdom, the strength, and the heart, the courage of making the purpose of One Africa for the glory of you, and also for the great good and for the greater good of our people. In Jesus' name we pray all this. Amen. All right. I'm trying to share the fundraiser, but hope everybody's donating. We've reached 3,110 euros. Today I'm expecting Marit's birthday gifts and all those things, and coming through all that. Yeah, so it's gonna be a fun night. If power comes back, I'll be back. But if power doesn't come back, I don't have much time. My battery will run out and everything. But okay, so we've been talking about potential. We've been talking about the potential that Africa possesses and the potential every African country and African states possess. But what do you see when you look around you? I'm trying again to share. Uh, okay, I'm trying to share this with you. So, what do we possess as Africans? What do we possess? What are the potentials in Africa? What are they? And we've been going through that, and we've said like we can feed the world, but the opposite is true. We can't feed the world. I mean, the world is feeding us, yet we claim that Africa has potential. Today, I'm going to be brutally, really honest with you guys. I don't want you to take it in a negative way, but I'm going to be really honest, and I'm going to say that the potential that Africa possesses, I feel like it's not a blessing, but a curse in disguise. When I say this, I will stand corrected, and I will say this again because many of our times people say it's a blessing in disguise, right? When things go sideways and when things don't work out for you, people look at you and they'll say it's a blessing in disguise. Who knows, right? But my question to you all today, Swahili members, Swahili Nation family, One Africa family, everyone who's watching this show today, uh, what if this is a curse in disguise? Because I'm going to give you examples why I say this because I've been asking myself a lot of questions, and I've been raising the question to myself and also, again, trying to answer it, but it doesn't add up. Something that it doesn't just sum up. So basically, what if this is not just a blessing? What if this is a curse in disguise? That's my question that today I'm going to give you that question. I'm going to trigger something. Uh, Pi SNN. I believe oil is a curse. All right, we'll go into why I say this and why I said this. So, um, yeah, what? What if? What if So this is my personal opinion. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna take you first. Marita's here. She's been waiting to enter. Um, she's been waiting here to join the show. And thank you, Marit. Thank you, Pi, and Sam, for always being here, making the show. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and share it with people who need to know about Africa. Uh, we're being brutally honest with each other. So if you have African friends and you want them to hear about this, please don't forget to share with them. Share it with any community that you think is interested in this show and is also interested in working with Africa for Africans. So this is a um, potential in Africa every Thursday show with me, Ebenezer. Um, so, so the question today is, so like we've said, there's potential. We've been talking about that, and it's been going out in our head every now and then we just end up, like not responding to the true facts. And we, it's what if this is a curse in disguise? Because I'm going to take you to Holland, for example. The Dutch people believe that God didn't create Holland, that the Dutch people did, which actually makes sense somehow. Because from what I heard, the Dutch people are a bit like 800 meters below the sea level. So if they're 800 meters below the sea level, correct my math if that's true or not. So I'm going to, all right, hold on a second. I'm trying to get information. So they believe that they made the Netherlands. The Netherlands was made by the Dutch people, basically, because it's under sea level. It's very low. There are more than, I think, seven um, dams that are protecting the Netherlands. And when you look at them, they're rich. Their country is rich. So basically, what happened is that they were faced by a challenge. They faced it. They brought a solution for the challenge that they were faced. And um, when you look at Africa, there's a huge potential. So here it is, my topic for today. So I'm gonna show you the topic here in front, and then you can, yeah, potential and its disadvantages for Africa. So this is our topic today, but within this, I'm going to ask lots of questions, and you're gonna have to answer it for yourself and for others. Maybe you can discuss it, and maybe we can join again back in on Thursday. Um, because I don't want to make this a very long discussion. I want to make it easy, simple, precise, as easy as possible. Okay, you know the situation that's happening in Africa. You know what's happening in Ethiopia. You know what's happening in between Ethiopia and between Sudan. You know what's happening between Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. And like we all know everything that's whatever is going on, and everybody tends to point a finger at somebody. Either it's a leader, either it's something. No one is still taking responsibility, and we're not pushing towards that. our focus should divert from potential and everything to enlightenment. People need to be enlightened. People need to be told the truth of their personality. We need to know what we are. We need to know how we think, how we function. Because I see a lot of dysfunctional thinking, dysfunctional thoughts in my country. So I can say whatever I want about my country, and people might get upset for the first time when they hear this. Um, but basically, there's a lot of problems in Ethiopia. For example, right now, like there's fuel issue, and there's curfew. We can't go, we can't use transportation because the minute I leave work, I have to go back home. I can't do anything else because if I go out to do something, simple, for example, simple thing. If I go out, I come out of work late, and so if I go out to take a picture, like Mika asked, and I could, if I could go by chance, I couldn't come back home. I'm There could be a problem. I might get, I don't know, like I have to walk a long distance. All those issues are there. So like I have to just go home. So from work to home, I get that. I get there's security issues and all those things. I mean, everything going on in Ethiopia. I know the government is being precautious, and if there are people who are against the government, I don't mind. You have all the right to be against anyone, but I'm not against anyone either. So like I have all the right to do the same. So I basically these are the things like we are. We have to be told the truth. We have to understand the truth. So what I see in Ethiopia and in Africa, in Kenya, everywhere you go in Africa is abundance. Too much. It's too much. The resources are too much. Pointlessly too much. We're blessed with resources. We're blessed with human resources. I mean, I will. It's arguable that we have human resources because none of them seem to work. None of our human resources seem to come up with a problem unless they're creating the problems. I mean, I'm gonna be really honest because this is the fact. I'm not gonna just sugarcoat it for you. We are the problem. Sudanese are the problem, not the Sudanese government. Sudanese are the problems. In Ethiopia, Ethiopians are the problems. In Kenya, Kenyans are the problems. We have to face the fact. We are causing the problems. Guess what? For example, there's fuel crisis in Ethiopia. No petroleum. Um, there's a lot of issues, like rising up and down and all those things. So basically, the abundance that we have had made us lazy. So stealing became normal. Like theft, stealing, cheating became so normal because we're so lazy. We don't like working. So we became lazy, and it kept taking and draining us. Then finally, when you tell a lazy person to get up and work, it's another level. Either that person has to go to rehab to do something to his head, all those things have to be done. So basically, what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to suggest is that yes, we have resources. Call it, we have it. Name it, we have it. No one um, can argue about that. And we have fruits, vegetables, anything that is around us is edible. That's interesting. But out of abundance came this disadvantage. Dr. Bemnet Zeki disagrees with me. Resources are a blessing, never a disadvantage. So I'm going to take you back to the Bible stories that I started. When I started my show, I said, the blessings of Esau and Jacob in the Bible. So there are two people. I mean, Jacob gave birth to Israel, who became Israel. So basically, like when, so like I've discussed this before, and I'm gonna put it in a plain. This is not religious, but just to use the biblical story as an example for uh, purpose of teaching the facts. So had to steal. Jacob had to steal the blessing of Esau, and Esau had to sell his blessing. But when you look at these people, these two people, one of them cheated, one of them sold out his resource. That's everything. So Jacob took everything, and he knew when his brother Esau came home, he's going to kill him. So he had to run. It's not a new teaching. You can find this teaching on Dr. Mensa Otabil from Ghana. It's not my teaching, but my reference is him. So you can just go and learn. I mean, after the show, but it's an amazing teaching that I'm going to share with you. So basically, what happened was Jacob left. Esau came back home. When he came back, he asked his dad, "I'm ready to be blessed." And this is what he said to him: I just did. I just blessed you. I gave every blessing I could give to you. I thought it was you. And it's funny, one thing that Esau asked was like, have you not one blessing? It's just a single one left that you didn't give to Jacob, but you could give to me. And it's an interesting blessing that Isaac gave to his son. He told him, and he blessed him this way: when you become restless, when you work hard, when you become restless, when you fight for what you want, you shall break the yoke of your brother from your neck. This is the blessing. And you can go forward again, see the story of Jacob. Jacob went to somewhere in Israel, wherever, but then he stayed somewhere. He wanted to marry another girl. 7 years he had to work. Then he married the wrong one. Then 7 years, another one. Okay, then after 7 years to share the cattle, another 7 years. That's 21 years. Basically, even if he was blessed with all the blessings that he could ever ask on the planet, this guy had to stay 21 years as a servant, just as a servant, until he wakes up. So, 21 years he stays a servant. Then afterwards, he leaves. When he leaves, he meets his brother on his way. So again, when you look at the character of Jacob, he stole. Again, he stole. Then he went there. He got lied to. He got cheated on, and then he had to marry two wives, and he had to serve as a servant to do all those things. And then finally, at the end of the day, when he was coming back from his father-in-law's house with his cattle, with his wife and children, and all those things, when he was traveling, he heard that Esau was on the way to him. Of course, the Bible tells us that there is an angel coming to Esau and telling him not to harm his brother and stuff. But when you look at Esau has already gotten what he begged for, and he was blessed. He had enough. So Jacob, hearing that Esau was around, he sent cattle and gifts and everything so that he can bribe him to not harm him. And Esau said, "Brother, I don't need your cattle. I don't need your belongings. I have enough of my own." That's becoming restless. No blessings, nothing. But that guy was restless, and he broke the yoke of his brother from his neck, and he became potent. That's what he did. Again, when you look at the story of Jacob, I mean, we don't know the story of Esau, but it feels like it's a fun journey that he had. So, like, when you look at Jacob, it's a struggle. Even after that, and he had to do that, and he has to lose his favorite son. He can go on. And because of his children, like they have to go to Egypt, be slaves, and after that, and 40 years, 400 years, uh, the story goes on. So the reason potential, I say potential and its disadvantages for Africa is because we are blessed. You see, we are blessed with every single resource that we could ask for, yet we're poor, yet we're lazy. Bemnet is saying, why are we lazy? Is it because resources? I doubt that. You see, problems, but I can answer Bemnet's question here. Let me clear the doubt for you. If we're always faced by problems, I'm not saying political problems or religious problems or ideological problems, that's not my reference. If we didn't have access to fertilizers, if we didn't have import stuff, if we didn't depend on China, if we didn't depend on the West to fund us or send us something, we could have worked our butt off, and then we could have gotten in a better place. We could have gotten Africa into a better place. But since we're blessed, the West gives us whatever they want, whatever we want, and whatever is fancy for us. And then we we just take everything for granted. So, yes, it's because of our resources that we are lazy. Because everywhere we turn in Africa, everywhere we turn in Ethiopia, there is fruit everywhere. There's food everywhere. Look, when you go to United States of America, when you live there, there are bills to pay. In Ethiopia, there are no bills to pay. Like if you're not living, uh, you know, if I have a landlord right now for my house rent, if I ask the lady, I don't have money, she's gonna say, "Oh, yeah, when you find, you pay for me. It's okay. Don't sweat it. This is what's gonna happen in Ethiopia. People, since there is abundant culture, abundance everywhere, then we'll say like, um, you know, also there is this aid mentality, being helped all the time. That's also one of the problems. But yeah, still, if we didn't have the resources, if we didn't have access, we would have grown. Since we have access to other stuff, we're not growing. So I say our resources are curses in disguise. See, the abundance that we have made us forget that those abundant resources that we're actually chilling on, that we're actually giving up for others, we might not find them again. Groundwater is abused in Africa. We have the biggest reserve in Ethiopia, and it's abused. No one cares what happens to it after 10 years, what happens to it after 20 years. Deforestation, clearing out everything, wildlife is gone. No one cares. And when you think about, you see, we can't see the bigger picture because we have a limited mindset that tells us that, what, I can eat this if this is gone. UNICEF is gonna bring some food if we don't have wheat. So you know what? This is it. So, yes, our resources are becoming our curses. Our These are the things that are holding us back. So we sell them, we get some cheap I don't know, laptop or mobile phones, and like the only thing we do. Yeah, I mean, we weren't even trained, we weren't even properly educated. The education system, copy paste, and no educators in the country, only lecturers. I remember when I was in the university, I had a Kenyan friend who came from Kenya, and he said, uh, in Ethiopia, you guys have a lot of lecturers, not teachers. And I asked him, what's the difference? And he said, a lecturer is a person who transmits the message that he doesn't know to those who don't know. A teacher is a person who teaches the person what he knows and makes him understand and know whatever is left in him. I was surprised. I was surprised, and I didn't know. Um, I didn't know the difference between lecturer and teacher. Mohammed Abdullahi is saying, I want to talk about environmental economics. It's exactly what Africa needs. I'll give you the link in a bit. Could you hold on there for me, and then I will let you in, and uh, you'll have your discussion about the topic, and also you can say a little about environmental economics, which is needed for Africa. We need people who come with a solution. Thank you, Mohammed Abdullahi. So give me a second, and I'll get back to you. And Bemna Zege says aid mentality and the fact that we are not inherited strong work ethic that is the main cause of our poverty. Not necessarily. Yes, still, aid mentality came from being lazy. We were dying out. Replace China manufacturing. I mean, no one wants to work for 50 cents an hour. Yes, no one. Basically, no one. And we understand that. But yeah. So, guys, this is the point. Okay? We are blessed, and that blessing turned out to be a curse for us so that we become lazy and dependent on the West and whoever is supporting us so that they can keep feeding us, and then we can just live off the mercy of the Western people. It was funny. Um, have a very interesting video. I wish I could share it with you guys, but I can let you know here um, the audio, but I can't share it. I don't know. It's a TikTok video. I don't know if I can share it, but I want you to hear it clearly. The guy has an important message that he was sending out. Jesus from birth until age 5. So listen to this guy.
When a black boy or girl goes to Sunday school and look at a white Jesus from birth until age 5, by the time they go to kindergarten, they have already been convinced that if God is white, then it's okay for the president to be white. It's okay for the judge to be white. It's okay for the CEO to be white. It's okay for the police to be white, because if God is white, then all white people must be of God. And it puts you in a subservient posture. And if God is white, then the devil must automatically be black by contraindication, which is why black folks got to stop worshiping a white Jesus. You cannot talk about black power, giving your child the deity of an enemy for worship. No people worships their deity in the image of their enemy or oppressor. No one does except slaves. When a black boy or girl goes to Sunday school and look at a white.
So basically, I wanted to pinpoint something. In America, in the black community is still oppressed mentally, not physically only, mentally. Maybe BG Riggs, if she was here, she would have supported our idea and our opinion about it. Mentally, they're oppressed. They want to impress their oppressors by buying stuff, good stuff. They want to show them that they can make it to buy a Mercedes Benz or a Tesla or an iPhone, the first one. They could be the black, and they wear, literally, the black community wears. Some of the rappers wear like $18 million watch. And what's the point of that? Unless you're trying to impress your oppressor, telling him, I have $18 million watch. Look at me, I'm rich. You told me I couldn't get there, and the oppressor is laughing at you. You're still trying to prove yourself to him. This is what we're trying to do. Our leaders, Kagame said it well. They go to G8, G20 or something, and they just want to impress people. And they want to take pictures with other leaders. So when they get down, so that they can just get down and, like, I saw a Chinese employer in Africa who said his African employees spend their paycheck on alcohol and partying and come back 2 days later to ask for loan. We have some culture problems. So thank you, Rahel Raz. Not just that's just This is not just cultural problem. This is sickness. Actually, we have to name it sickness, because unless we actually give it a name and decide to end it, it's not going to change. It's never going to change. I have also colleagues, employees who do that. They go spend it on alcohol, partying. The next day they come back after 3 days and they don't have money, and they earn less. The only thing they do is pay their house rent. After that, they're in the clubs because it's a showtime. It was just showtime. Like, we show it up, we show it, we give it all, and we say we can drink, we can pay for our own drinks, and then the next day we're back begging on the street, asking for loans, and then the next month comes, and it's a vicious circle for employees most of the time. But that's not just it. That's not just it. So basically, so yeah, so basically, it's not just the culture, it's not just the issue of a problem of culture only. It's about education. It's all about, see, it's all related. It's all about education, it's all about religious institutions. Where is their investment? Because I can give you some simple biblical quotes: where your heart is, where your money is, your heart is there. So what are the religious institutions working on? Hate. I'm going to be honest. This is it. Hate. What is the education system working on? educating a bunch of kids with no information and just letting them pass the grades and like spoon feed them that they have to copy paste what is on the paper and they don't know anything about it. A generation who studies European history more than we haven't even redefined the people who felt like they discovered Africa. They still think they discovered Africa. They still think they're helping Africa. The people who thought who discovered America, they were not. They are called discoverers. Could you believe that? In history books, they're not invaders, they're not murderers. We haven't edited those. When we mention King Leopold of Belgium, we say King Leopold of Belgium. He's not a king, he's a murderer. We have to give him the title. Then our children and our grandchildren will know the history as a murderer, a person who came and murdered. I'm not transmitting hate. We have to name the problems directly so that we can solve them at the end of the day. If we don't name them, if we taboo them, then it's over. The problem that's happening in Ethiopia, for example, simple example I can give you, fuel crisis. It's self-inflicted. People expect the government to come and solve their problems without them pointing the problems. So the government said, point out who is cheating, who's lying, who's trying to make more money, and point out your neighbors are doing it. So because you want to live in peace with your neighbors, you don't point them. You don't give them up to the police. You just hide them. You harbor this is a crime. Harboring a criminal is a crime, punishable by a criminal code. But we do that. And then we expect the prime minister to solve my neighborhood light issue, my neighborhood network issue, my neighborhood shop issues. The expensiveness of materials in Ethiopia, the inflation rate is going high, and we want him to solve it. I mean, the guy is not basically, what do you call it, a witch or a wizard. I can't solve my problem unless I know the problem, where the problem is coming from, where the problem is emitting from. This is our problem. We are part of the problem. We are not trying to solve it. We're actually the problem itself. So as long as we live in that problem, we are the problem. Sudan is trying to attack Ethiopia. That's a problem. We are the problem. Ethiopia is trying to fight back. That's a problem. The people are the problem. Not the government only. The government doesn't come from heaven. It comes from the people, within the people. Democracy, by definition, means a government for the people, by the people, blah, blah. That's it. So we are for the people, by the people, that thing. If we're that, then if the people don't answer the questions properly, if the people do not cooperate to create law-abiding citizens, how is it going to happen? That's for all Ethiopians to answer. Not my question. The rest of you, raise that question in your country. Who's going to fight for Tanzania? Not America. Don't expect China. Don't expect Russia. It's you. If you don't fight it, then you're not going to solve it. This is why our rich resources have made us prey to the Western ideology. So we have to name it. We have to admit that we're the problem. Bemnet is asking if Okay, so the question here, I'm going to show you the question. How can we end it? Simple. Accept it. Accept it. Be ready to accept that it's our problem. It's our issue. We are the problem. They give you the guns, you don't kill them, you kill your own brother. It's interesting. It's a funny fact, though. We kill each other. Sudan attacks Sudan. Ethiopia attacks Ethiopia. With what? The weapon that they were actually giving us. I mean, okay, this shouldn't happen either. I'm not saying we should do this, but it would be okay to go on a revenge mode against the British colonizers. It would be okay. I mean, it's kind of payback time. It would be understandable if that was the case. But that's not the case. The British come and tell you, or the French come and tell you, that your own neighbor is a bad person. You believe the French because they're white skinned or something, because of subliminal messaging, the picture that you have picture that they don't make mistakes. It's so fascinating how our brains work, how our brains are functioning. We pick up knives, guns, machetes to kill each other, to beat each other to death. But we don't pick that up to those who colonized us. It's so interesting. Your own neighbor, your own countryman cannot walk on the streets safely, but a foreigner can come into your country, walk safely. They should walk safely. I don't have a problem with that. What? Why wouldn't your neighbor walk? Why can't you let your fellow Ethiopian walk? Why? I'm gonna leave the question and the answer for you. We're so welcoming. This is the culture that we always say. We're so welcoming. We're so loving. We're blah blah. And then it's like when guests come to our country, they say, "Oh, Ethiopia is so welcoming, hospitable." Come on, come on. That's just the second that the foreigners have left the city, we turn into chaos again. I can't let my neighbor walk by my front gate, and he won't let me walk through his door. In the villages, even in the resident areas, you can't walk. It's it's so frustrating somehow, but yeah, that's the fact. So, what if our blessings, the blessings that we have, are a curse in disguise? Rahel Raz says, yes, we need to acknowledge our shortcomings as well in order to see real results, not only point fingers at others. Thank you. Again, thank you. You're making an amazing point. Ah, thank you. It's time to take responsibility at hand and say, I'm responsible for what is happening in Africa, for what's happening in Ethiopia, for what's happening in Kenya, for what's happening in Tanzania. Whatever is happening, I am the problem. I am also the solution. See, the I am the problem. Understanding the problem gives you a possibility. Okay, if you are the problem, either you take out the problem from the equation, then you solve it, or you become the solution itself. You figure it out. That's how it works. It doesn't just pop out of the blue. They're not going to help us change because they don't want us to change. So basically, that's it. So our blessings, the things, the resources that we have, the potential that we have is amazing. I could say really amazing, actually fascinating. But I feel like those blessings are becoming our curses. The reason that we're killing each other is because we lived in abundance. Now there is scarcity. The only way forward for us is by taking what people have, and that makes us murderers and killers. We want to take it all, we want to have it all. It became a competition. All right, let me ask you a question. Right now, Ethiopia is facing economic crisis. Basically, the inflation rate, the fuel cost, and everything. The government is trying to do its best, the best of it. People come to companies and people say like, your company doesn't have to let wastewater or stuff and go out of your compound. Okay, we stop or something. They come to you and they say, the fence is not looking great. Let's be honest, who cares about what looks great or not? Looks can be deceiving. You can be having a really nice fence and inside you have a tent maybe to live in. You're not defined by what you're fenced with. You're not defined by how beautiful your city looks like. You're defined by how much food you're providing, how much food you're producing in your own country, by not importing. How much foreign currency are you breaking? That should be our issue, not the looks. Most of the time, people tend to forget that. People tend to focus on the other side. Anyways, I've said much. I've I think I have a couple of minutes until before my battery shuts down, and I'm gonna invite a couple of people to say something, and then I'm gonna end the session because there's no electricity. um, at the end of the day, this is what I said about Ethiopian electric crisis. Um, Even if we build a dam for the uh, Indian Ocean, it won't be solved. Simple, but try to understand it. Electricity is a joke here. People just are trying to make the government look bad, so they're doing everything in their power to make the people frustrated and angry. Because when there's no electricity, there's no you know food in the morning. There you don't cook, you don't eat. Everything's dependent on it. Then they know it. They know how to play with it. It's amazing. So yeah. So basically, there's always an issue. Marie de Alonso, yes, that's true. Same for water. Yes, water, electricity, they're connected. Someone feels like I don't know. Yeah, so we'll buy solar panels. We don't mind. So it's okay. But I don't think it's the power issue or it's an electric issue. It's people issue. Everything that I see is I see the problem in people. I talk to people a lot of time, and when I hear what comes out of their mouth, it's so disgusting that you just want to change who you are. Just I want to be Kenyan at some point. I want to be uh, Eritrean at some point. So yeah. So I'm gonna invite you guys. I'm gonna share the link, and you can come in and share your ideas. Interesting. Interesting. Rahel says, "LOL, I feel you." Thank you. Finally, finally, someone who understands the pain that. Yeah, Sam. Right. Tikikil Ebenezer, LOL. Tikikil means, guys, correct. I'm always baffled to hear some of the most bizarre things. Interesting. That's good. And here, Rahel Raz says, LOL, I feel you. Yeah, thanks. Again, it's good to vent it out sometimes. My friend does not have had water for, I think, more than 3 weeks. I suggest a solar to Yes, I think it's better to have solar panels. Marit is coming in. Hi, Marit.
Hi. Yeah, well, I just had to encourage you, right? No power, that's a struggle.
Marit?
Yes, can you hear me? Are you not hearing me? Hmm.
I can't hear.
Oh, let's see. Mm. Da-da-da-dum. Test, test, test. It's just doing
Marit?
it.
I can't
Yes,
hear anything.
that's crazy. Um, this one. Are you hearing me now? No, still not. Hmm.
Guys, if you can hear her, I'm not listening to anything that she's saying.
And for me, it says that it should be working. Everything. Hmm. Test, test, test. This one then. Is nobody hearing me or what?
Sorry, Marit. I'm not hearing anyone, to be honest, guys.
Fight Jesus from.
Okay, let me go on my phone and try to hear if.
Oh, Pi can hear us both. Hmm. Maybe I should just reconnect. Reconnect.
Okay.
I heard myself
I
again.
can hear you on my phone, Marit.
I heard myself again.
I can hear you on my phone, Marit. Something wrong. Okay, Marie is back again.
Is
Hello,
it
Marie.
now?
Something wrong.
Still not?
Okay, Marie is back.
Hmm. I tried everything. Having issues. Maybe that's. Hmm. But the other ones are hearing me. Maybe they can answer. I'm not hearing you now, Ebenezer. Oh, you have two now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you with an echo.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, now it's better.
Okay. Good. All right.
So, so I just wanted to encourage you that when you don't have power, well, you're not alone, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
has this been long for you, the power off, or what? Just today?
Yeah. It's like unpredictable. Like every day the power goes off at some point and then it comes back. So yeah, it's a normal problem.
Okay. It's annoying, right?
Very, unfortunately.
But do you think it also has to do with this dam that they are filling up again, then, or what? Or are you not getting anything from that?
Uh, I don't understand if it's related to the dam or not. To be honest, it's not the dam or anything, but it's just I don't know.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. So I don't want to really think about it because I had everything set up and like just the second it started, like 60 seconds countdown, it went off. So
Well, at least you managed to do this like for almost an hour now.
yeah, yeah, I
So
did.
it's a blessing. Let's count those.
Yeah, not bad. Let's
Yes,
count
not
the
that bad,
seconds.
right? Yes.
Yeah,
See it from the sunny side, right?
true.
True. You can't make all-nighters every week, right?
No, no.
You just say what you have to say and then it's good. And well, um, Sam is still not coming, so for that one, you don't
Yeah,
have to stay up.
true.
So, oh, you're double again.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm double. I'm using laptop and telephone. I'm trying to connect the laptop.
Okay. So, so yeah, I didn't have much to share anything or whatever. Just wanted to say hi.
All right. Thank you, Marit. You've been always supportive.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I hear
always
this.
nice.
You're now they're complaining about background noise. Well, that's my daughter. She's making something to eat or something.
Okay.
So,
All
well,
right. So yeah, this is
anyone else?
the topic for today. Do you have anything to say on that one?
What was the topic? Help me. I can't see that here now.
Okay. The topic today is could our blessings, could the things that we have, um, could it be a curse? Is having all these resources on the ground, is it a disadvantage really? Because I pointed out some things, some pointers. It could be a disadvantage uh, because when when you have abundance in your environment, then you become a bit lazy and your work ethics actually changes. So probably could it be related to that one? And yeah,
Yeah, I think it can be both, depending how you use it and who is using it. If you're in control of yourself, your own what do you call it, ground resources and stuff like that, and you have self control over that, it can be a blessing, but in the wrong hands, it can be a curse.
That's good. I had in the comment section, Muhammad. Um, but I have to remove these comments and put them in a timeout. Yeah. So Mohammed said, I want to talk about environmental economics. It's exactly what Africa needs. Mohammed, I have shared the link. You can click the link and join through StreamYard. So if you can't see it, the link is here. So you can also join the stream and you can be part of this show. We're not here for long because I don't have power. Sorry, guys, but yeah, it's not much much of thing that I can control, but I can apologize for it always. So yeah,
Well, you don't have to apologize for it. It's just how it is.
okay, yeah, true. That's how it
So,
is.
so yeah,
Every
I'm also curious what he wants to share about the environmental. What did he say? Environmental economics.
yes, environmental
Yeah,
economics. That's
yeah.
what Africa needs, Mohammed. If you could click on the link that I'm sharing right now here on the. I can also share it again, and you can click on that link and then just go live, and then easy. After that, you can be part of this show and share with us what you want to say about the environmental economics. If that's what Africa needs, show show us what show us the way. And you have uh, all the ideas, and we have the platform to share it with us. And yeah,
So, but what do you think then?
about what again?
Uh, yeah, about is it a curse or a blessing?
Oh, for me, it's a curse. That's why I had the topic.
Yeah.
Because I have to be really honest today. You can look around you and, like, you don't need to fight about anything, to be honest. In Africa, there is no need for fight. Like, we have a huge land, and we have, I mean, some places in Ethiopia, even they have 8 month rain, 4 month sunny, and it's green everywhere. Like, there are lots of potentials in just in Ethiopia alone. Imagine that. Go to Africa, uh, sub-Saharan Africa, southern, eastern, western Africa parts, and then when you see that potential, you wonder, why are we really fighting? I mean, to be honest, there's no need for fight. The land is wide. We haven't even finished what we have. We're fighting for more, and it feels like everything that we have, it's becoming a curse upon us. We're blessed with natural resources. We're blessed with environment. We're blessed with uh, fertile soil, which doesn't even need um, fertilizer, and yet we import fertilizer and we kill our land. We're doing all those things to paralyze our own country. And funnily, most of the time when you're in Ethiopia, I mean, Ethiopia. So on the streets, there are solar panel lights or electric lights. When the electrics are gone, the lights, the lamps are gone. Somebody stole them, and it feels like we have another country. Like, it's not ours. Somebody else's. It's the tax that I'm paying. It's the tax some other people are paying. Somebody comes and they steal common property that shouldn't be stolen. Cables from the ground are stolen. Electric internet cables, just to buy something. I don't know what you buy with it, but it's impossible. I mean, like, to think for a second, like, we're poor by choice. That was my topic last time. We're poor more than by choice, actually.
Yeah, I
We
get
love
it.
we love
Yeah.
the status that we're in. We're happy, and we're not responsible. We're not taking responsibility about anything, any of the actions that we're actually undergoing. Everything has a repercussion. Like when you throw a ball to the wall, how hard you threw it is how hard it's going to come back to you. So whatever we do in Africa, whatever we're doing, the damage is how hard we damaged it. And we just don't get that. And that's, for me, it keeps me puzzled most of the time. So really, like, I feel like, um, I don't know, to be honest. For me, it's becoming more of a curse than a blessing. The resources that we have made us lazy. We're not faced by challenges. We're not faced by problems. So we're not creative. We're not innovative to tackle those problems. How can we do this? How can we solve this? No self-reflectory education. Even religious institutions are more of religious, and like instead of I was watching this funny video of Sadhguru. Uh, he said the idea that there's a better place after death, even if it's good, it's a crime, because the idea is making us mess up Earth. And he said, "What if you're already in heaven and you're messing it up?" And I was uh, uh, it was funny because I mean finally somehow I learned a lesson from it. Who said we have to expect to go to heaven only, but not take care of the earth that we're given to take care? So yeah, that's how I think. And Deshaun, I think here says, don't say that God gave you is a curse. What God gave you is a curse. The Europeans want you to think that it is a curse, so you'll give it away. Deshaun, that's the problem. See, even you think that this is a problem, and you think, um, for example, you're right now thinking, pointing fingers at Europeans. Okay, whatever the ancestral Europeans did or whatever they're doing right now, that's not the problem. We are the problem. We have the resource at hand and we're not utilizing it. That's what I'm trying to say. We're not using it. We're fighting and killing each other basically every single day. It's so interesting, the fact that the number of Africans that die don't matter to many people. It's basically like, to us, it's like literally nothing. It feels like we don't feel their pain because you remember, Marit, in the war between Iraq and America, the first day America attacked uh, with, I mean, highly mechanized, uh, you know, weaponries, with highly mechanized uh, jets, planes, tanks, all those weapons that America has. She went to Iraq and they started attacking. But in that night, the people who died were only 30 from both sides. And in some African country, they protested against America, and 3,000 people went out on the streets protesting America's action against Iraq, and 300 people died in protest. In the war, only 30 died. That's so funny. So basically, that's very funny for me most of the time. That's how I see it. So yeah, again, interesting. I've heard that before. Some of us are investing more in the hereafter than this world. But it's a controversial topic. Yeah, it's a controversial topic. I just took a Rahel things. I took some lesson from it actually, because I felt like it somehow it is true. Somehow, what if this was an assignment that was given to us? So even if there is life after, after this, uh, when we go to heaven or hell, uh, as it's written in the Bible or in the Quran, even if we're what if this is the assignment that we're given, that to take care of the earth that we're given, not to destroy it? Could be one of the it's controversy, but yeah, still. I mean, when the Europeans came, we cared more about their alcohol, umbrellas, and mirrors than our own resources. And every people today is exactly the same. Dishan, I don't know if I'm spelling your name correctly. Yes, true. We cared, and you see, they didn't have resources. They came here. I get that we want to point our fingers at the West. I get that. There's a need of blame shifting, but that's what we're trying to break. Let's not blame anybody. Let's blame ourselves, and let's take responsibility for the actions that are being undertaken in Africa. The actions the things that are happening in Africa are our own actions. No one, no one asked us to pull the trigger, yet we did. No one asked us to pick up a machete and kill each other. Yes, they did ask us, but they didn't hold our hands. They didn't put us under spell. So basically, yeah, basically that's how I see it. Pi 3 says here, okay. The problem is you're valuing the money instead of the resources. If you value the resources, you would have the money. It's not. I mean, Pi 3 SNN. It's not about the value that we are giving to the resources or anything. We have the resources. We do have the resources. The problem is we don't care if we have the resources or not. We are more focused and invested in killing each other, in becoming the most non-peaceful place on earth. Okay, let them give us the weapons. Why do we keep fighting? Why don't we stop? Sam here. Dr. Ebenezer, it's a misconception that Africa had the resources required for early civilization to flourish. The truth is, Africa didn't. Okay, can we continue? I'm going to say today that we have resources that meant nothing hundreds of years ago. For example, uranium. No, no, Sam, don't go to the ground resources. Our forests are full of fruits. We plant, we eat. People in Europe import soil, import compost. They actually make compost using earthworms. Earthworms are expensive in Europe. Earthworm compost is very expensive in Europe because it's the best compost that you can get. In Turkey, they produce earthworm compost because their land is not fertile like ours. Ours, you don't even need to dig deep. You can use a stick and plant something. It's as fertile as urea and DAP could make the land. So we're resourceful, not the uranium, not the cobalt, and all those stuff. That's this secondary thing. That's something that you're gonna dig out and use. But what I'm saying is the things that are in our surroundings. So yeah, basically, it's not about the resources, guys. It's not. I'm not talking about the resources or the price that we name on the resources. There is a basic issue that while we have a rich soil, while we have a rich ground, while we have a rich environment, why are we still fighting each other? Call it politics, it's us. Call it racism, it's us. We are the ones who are fighting. I am the one who's picking up the stone. I am the one who's picking up the gun. Why are we doing that? Why are we picking guns? Why is Sudan coming near the border of Ethiopia? Why is Ethiopia fighting Sudan? Why is Democratic Republic of Congo fighting Rwanda, trying to fight Rwanda? Why is this there? Why can't we stop it? We can, right? If we had the unity. That's why we need one Africa to be functional. And Sam here says also, Benezage, the only one that can mildly compete is the River Nile. Strangely, the greatest African civilizations are connected to the Nile. Can you believe that Egypt is still farming through just borehole irrigation system? Just there's not even a drip irrigation system. There's no ponds. There's nothing in Egypt. That's why we're that's why Egypt is scared Ethiopia would build the dam because they don't have what do you call it, a sustainable irrigation system that's going to continue because they laid low trusting the Nile more than this is what I mean. Resources are not there forever. Some point we lose them. And once we lose them, it's over. Boom, gone. Deshaun says Europe didn't give us knowledge on how to make weapons and ships. The only They only gave us the Bible and used it to even steal more from us. We thought the Bible and Christianity would give us prosperity. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't want to go into religious thoughts, but they did what they had to do. I'm gonna put it in a simple way. They did what they had to do to survive. Why are we doing anything to survive? That's the question. Guys, you need to understand. The question I'm asking is they did whatever they had to do steal, kill, genocide, whatever you call it. They did what they had to do to survive. Why doesn't Africa do the same? So, Pi SNN wants me to drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link, but if there's anyone from Swahili family here watching, I would like you to probably take over, or I'm gonna end it because my battery is about to shut down. So yeah, this is the link. I can get. I think I have yeah 5 6 minutes.
Okay, well then I'm gonna go too.
Okay, Maria. Sorry,
Yeah, it
I kept you
takes
here.
too long here, so it's too much background noise then. So
Oh,
next time, yeah.
all right. Okay.
Well,
Thank you,
good
Maurice.
night then.
All
Yes.
right. Nice.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. There's one person I can The problem is that we trusted them more than our own brothers and sisters. Even today, we still do. Thank you, Desha. We still do. We believe in them. That's it. Earlier, the video that I tried, the audio I shared with you is when we were in Sunday schools, when we were going to church, they taught us with the images. Even the movie, the Jesus Christ movie was made with the image of a white person. So if Jesus was represented by white, whatever the whites do is correct. So now there's some kind of fear in us. So it is true. So basically, that's mostly the case. I'll say. So, gosh, right, okay. Um, so yeah. Okay, guys. So basically, the issue. Okay, just checking my battery, and oh my god, Tanzan, I wish you could join in and Benezege, for example, the Tanzanians. Sam is saying this. I think we're among the first people to melt and mold metals because the Highlanders were so isolated they weren't able to pass that knowledge on to others. All right. Okay. Yeah. So there is a discussion in the comment section. I mean, I wish you guys could bring it to the table, and then we can discuss about it. However, I want you to take it as an assignment. We need to believe in ourselves. Simple as that. Let's believe in our resources. Let's believe in the potential that we have. And don't forget, guys, whoever is in this show, share this show to your friends and family, and don't forget to also support by raising funds. So we have a GoFundMe page that we're raising, and we've reached almost somewhere. I've been trying to share the screen, but it doesn't work so far. So yeah, fundraiser. I've been trying to share it, but it doesn't work. I don't know why. Okay, Pi SNN. I'm gonna put you in for 3 4 minutes. Welcome, Pi. PA3.
Hi, Dr. Abenazer.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what is wrong with the laptop. I can't hear anyone.
Can you hear me?
Okay, let me check. Let me check.
Hello?
Don't forget. Okay. Even I have. Okay, Pi, could you hold on there for me because I need to log in with my phone and talk to you. So hold on a minute. Okay. Hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's faint.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having a lot of issues. I don't have electricity. I have some issue with the network, so I can hear you clearly. So you can say it out loud.
Yeah, so the question is like, what was the question again? I know what you guys were talking about. Just remind me what the question was.
The question is, could could our blessings be a curse in disguise? There's a saying that it's a blessing in disguise, right? So could our resources be a curse in disguise too?
The resources be a curse in disguise. I guess it's a matter of perspective. Based on how Africa is right now, perhaps if the resources were in a different continent, and because people aren't as united, Africa would probably be doing better
Sure.
if you think about it.
That's good. Yeah.
Because, for example, like in the Caribbean, there's not a lot of resources, which is why there's not as much neocolonial activity in the Caribbean because the countries are really small and there's not as many resources.
Mhm. Sure.
So I
So this
guess the resources can be a curse and a blessing.
so depending on the perspective you saw it, that's the perspective I saw it from too. Because when you look at Africa, there's abundance everywhere you go. The land is amazing, and whatever you plant grows. The weather, the climate is so interesting for many people, for many investments, for many opportunities. But no one's capitalizing on that. Everybody's, like doing their bits and running away. So when you talk to an African, like when you come to Ethiopia, for example, to Ethiopian, a single African, when you ask the youth, they want to leave. They want to leave. They want to go. Everyone is looking for a job or a scholarship to leave and leave for good. And this is because like we have the abundance, but we're so obsessed with the Western civilization, and at the same time we're struggling to become. There is somehow there is an identity crisis that I see in our generation. So from that perspective, I was asking myself, I wanted to talk about potential in Africa, but there's no point to talk about the potential in Africa if we lack the potency of making that potential a reality. Then there is no potential at all for me. I don't see potential. I'm the potential guy. I'm the guy who comes up with ideas, creative ideas, and innovative ideas, entrepreneurial ideas on this show. But when I looked at it, I saw it from the same perspective you saw it. If the resources were in Europe and America, maybe they were having the same crisis and we would be united and strong because the problems actually challenge you to become better. That's um, that's my perspective.
Because there are countries that are the size of like 100 times smaller than Somaliland, Singapore, and I believe their GDP is like 400 billion, and they're like 726 kilometers square. That's nothing. But the reason why, although they have zero resources, is because they have the proximity of power of both the U.S. and China. So I think more in Africa, if there was a proximity of power, like if there was one nation that like it doesn't have all these issues we always talk about. It's not corrupt. It's not tribalist. It's under the control of people that's actually live there, like the African people. I believe one of the nations could free each other one by one to be able to like spread the like those like I think you talked about earlier like why are people killing each other? Why are we still having these problems? Why is Sudan attacking Ethiopia? That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
There's not a single country that can act as a proximity to power to free the continent at the moment.
yeah, yeah. True. There is no single superpower that's trying to unite the continent entirely or to do anything. Actually, that's also another issue. So at the end of the day, we end up saying economy, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think we can solve this problem? I mean, do you have any ideas?
Well, that's a good question. It would take well first it would have to start in a place where the let's say the government is pretty liberal towards revolution, I guess. Maybe someplace like I don't know, maybe like in the south, I don't know, like Botswana or South Africa, someplace like that. Because South Africa, for example, like South Africa, their currency trades in I believe five, 6 or 7 different African countries, right? And I believe they don't have the tribalist issues other African countries have. But I think the problem that they have there is they don't own their own agricultural land, and there's like a caste system, I guess. So, but I think that out of or even Nigeria, but the problem is that Nigeria is like they do have it's just everywhere you go, you see there's one big glaring issue that's hard to solve. I'm not 100% sure. Like for example, in the West Africa region, I know people that like to call it Pan Africanism. Seems like Pan Sahelism is stronger in Africa. What I mean by that, there's a security group between, I believe it's France, Israel, and the U.S. that they fund terrorists. They have like basically their own version of NATO in West Africa, but it's basically terrorists that they fund, and they're stronger than most of the military. This is the kind of stuff that we're dealing with, so it's not a simple answer really. Just one nation has to really, one of the superpowers, really big nations, I don't know, like Kenya, Ethiopia, Nigeria, South Africa, one of them has to just be free in some place where the diasporans, people from the continent, or just people that want to help could be able to go without having to be worried about like being like assassinated or not being able to speak freely, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I understand with yeah, you're right. I think Tanzania can be the best example when it comes to unity. So, and also, uh, I think that's where this initiative started from. So basically, yeah, I hope that some superpower emerges and then changes the history of Africa, or else whatever resources we're claiming that we have is going to eat us alive. Actually, the resources, the fight within us is going to eat us alive. That's my fear, because you wake up every morning thinking something could go wrong at some point, and it's not the government. It's not. Like, people tend to always blame the government, and there's an expectation when you elect a government, you want the government to solve every single problem. There are things that we need to solve, our own problems. There are issues that we really need to resolve too. We don't focus on that one. So, yeah, thanks for the perspective.
Yeah.
All right, okay, guys, I really have to go because my battery said the laptop would close down in a second. So, I have a minute or something. So, anything you want to add? Any message you have for Swahili Nation Network and One Africa? Um,
Um, no, not really. I guess we can come again next time. But you see, the thing in the continent is if there was, as we talked about before, if there's one superpower, if they had more power than any of the other colonial powers in Africa, if they were like a major importer, what they could do is they could go to all these countries where the resources are and try to like free the government, or like at least maybe support people that want to like free the government from these neo-colonial stuff, because to be able to shut down all the mines and be able to negotiate for reparations or stuff like that, like whatever, there's like the coal, the nuclear ore, the oil, diamond, whatever resource, they could shut everything down, right? They could shut everything down and then be able to negotiate, because at the moment it's just being extracted from the continent. It's not being used to develop the actual people that live there.
yeah, true. That's also another reason, right? Uh, okay. Thanks, Pi. I don't know if I can let anyone in. Dorth, I'm gonna add you just for a minute if you have something to say, because my laptop definitely will shut down and I have to end the stream before it shuts down. So, Dorth Revan coming.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to say something to what Pi said, but he just dropped down. I heard he said like he for it to happen, it's going to take a country. It's going to begin in a country that's liberal to revolution. But either way, it doesn't matter. What I heard there, he said that it's going to take a revolution. You understand what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's going to take a revolution in Africa for this to happen, and the revolution is slowly emerging. You understand it? So at the end of the day, to change what is going to happen in Africa, it's going to take the people in Africa. You understand? It's going to
Yeah.
take the people to change, because if you're looking about it in from a financial standpoint, it's not going to work. If you're looking at it from a dictatorship standpoint, then you're going against the rest of the whole world. You understand what I mean? Which
Yeah.
means on the international stage, you will be hard pressed upon. Like, you understand what I mean? So there's
Mhm.
just so many pressures from all standpoints. So at the end of the day, I think the only way I see is through the will of the people, then turning into some kind of benevolent dictatorship, or I don't know what it is. Yes, there's some benefits to dictatorships, but achieving that is one of the hardest things. So the way forward is the will of the African people is and the demands of the African people, not necessarily an ideology, but African people start becoming very clear about what they demand in their countries. You know what I mean? Such as stability, security, development of all kinds, and all that kind of stuff. Transparency with the government. These are demands that African people are going to have to start making. That these are going to be, this would be what takes them out to the streets. You understand? It takes them out to the streets. Like he said, I do recognize what Pai said, because previously, whenever African people rose up, the government ended up shooting people down and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to take that level of, unfortunately, a mass movement and mass mobilization. I mean, there got to be a point where one gets sick of something and all that stuff. So in a way, there is a revolution that will be emerging. Eventually, people will get sick of things. We just need to make sure that that doesn't die down. The revolution to come doesn't die down, and we need to make sure that the revolution doesn't get hijacked. You know, that it doesn't get hijacked. We can steer it. You understand me? Right now, there's a lot of African people that want to move a certain way. There's a lot of African people, like, they want something from their countries, right? But they all the time their voices are being stifled down, stifled, so nobody's being heard. You understand me? Their voices are being stifled. The wrong type of voices are being pushed forward. The wrong type of thinking is being pushed forward. So it's going to take alternative forms of media and all that kind of stuff to actually spread the demand, spread the will of the people, or educate people, or make people more aware. I'm looking for the best word. Make people more aware of what's happening and what they should be demanding of their governments, and making them more aware of that. That's what it's going to take to begin the revolution. You understand? Because right now, just as we are making a movement here, other countries, other players, external players, are also injecting their voice. So we are in an era of information warfare, particularly in Africa. You understand? So we need to help steer the revolution the way we want it, where we want it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, 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 definitely.
Because you can see some revolutions have been hijacked, like the Arab Spring. That could have
Yeah,
turned out something positive for the Arabs and all that stuff, but it didn't turn out positive for them. No, you
no,
understand? So, for Africa, I just the three ways of gaining power. We just have no other choice but the people. Because if you were going through the military route, you will end up like the situation with Mali. You see how Mali is right now.
yeah,
That could be a benevolent dictatorship. But look at on the sanctions he came from the international community and even his close neighbors. You understand what I mean? Sanctioning
yeah,
him, cutting him off, cutting all financial aid for him off. So it makes it hard for him to actually do the things for his people. You understand what I mean? So,
mm,
but he has the will of the people. That's where his strength is. No matter how much sanctions he's under, the people still back him. You understand? So if you want to go the financial route or the democratic route, then that's when you have the external forces will be interested as well, because that's when they can outdo you. They can outdo you point blank, financial route. So you have to have the people back you up. That's the only way to overturn and and gain power in Africa for African people from the position we're coming from. I'm not saying military dictatorship is not, it's a bad thing. Benevolent dictatorship is good to an extent, but sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But
yeah,
in terms of implementation, in terms of what's practical, in terms of what's going to work from right now, it's going to take the will of the people. And we need to keep doing what we're doing. We need to add more energy to what we're doing. We need to continue preaching, because eventually we will reach that threshold. The people in Africa will reach that threshold. You understand? Because
yeah,
we live in an era where we're all communicating and we're becoming more aware. So that's when we'll see if Africans can definitely be martyrs. I'm sure by that time it will not be very I don't know, acceptable. I don't know if acceptable or palatable to just start shooting your own
Pleasant.
people in the street.
It's not, it won't be pleasant.
You understand? Like
Yeah.
I mean, by the time in the future come, I can't imagine there will be an African leader that's going about shooting his own people. We don't come from the era of the 90s or something like that. But you never know. You never know how corrupt, what kind of people will be put in charge in Africa. But you know, the situation with Mali is a positive example of what's to come. That is a positive example. That is the people and the leaders being in unison, being synchronized. That's a lot more to come in the continent in Africa, and it's going to happen. It will have different ways. Some people will come from from a military way. Some people will come from either the will of the people. You know, some may even come from financial position. Who knows? You understand? But I rather trust the will of the people and being synchronized as well. I trust that one. So it will come in different ways. You know what I mean? So, but this will definitely happen. We just need to make sure our demands are clear and that the demands are met. You understand? We don't necessarily need to be fighting on ideology or pushing an ideology. We just need to push the demands of what we want in Africa, such as security, stability, political transparency, all this stuff. You know what I mean? Integrate economic integration, all this kind of stuff. You know, trade with each other. We need to continuously push that, because the more you push an ideology to someone, that's you give them. You know, they want to fight back. So don't focus on the ideology. Focus on what the ideology represents, what it stands for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So
Well, it's
for me these days, I'm starting to get tired of talking. You know what I mean? I'm starting to get tired of talking because I've talked too much and all that stuff. But I think I'm gonna listen a lot more. I think Africa, we're gonna get there. What happened in Mali, different versions of it will come, as in the results, different versions of it will happen. You know, like my friend Tunija doesn't agree with how it happened, but the end result or the result is similar to what happened. A lot of it will happen. You understand what I mean? So we just need to stir the stir the revolution the right way. Man, I'm always battling for words, but that's it. Thank you.
thank you. I mean, I didn't want this conversation to end, to be honest. I
Yeah.
hope you'll be back on this show on Thursday. If you join
Yeah.
us, I think we're going to continue this topic. We're
Yeah.
going to go ahead and push forward to come to a point where we can, at least the majority can agree. And I believe that Africa needs a spark that's going to start something different, unique.
Oh,
It
I'm telling
takes,
you, it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, and you know all the ills that we keep mentioning. Oh, we're not using our resources for ourselves. We're not doing that. But all that it's connected with what these politicians sign. You understand? It's connected with what they sign. It's connected with what they sell to the rest. You understand? So at the
yeah,
end of the day, we can beat around the bush. But me, I'm a pragmatist, right? And I see things directly. What the issue is, and the issue is the people need to have the power. Needs to be with the people. You understand? The politicians need to serve the people. You understand what I mean? But
yeah,
right now, the politicians are not serving the people. They're serving the interests of external forces and themselves. You understand what I mean? So
mhm,
power needs to be given back to the people, but the people must be educated enough and aware enough how to use that power, or their demands must be met clear. They have to have their demands met clear. You understand? So we need to make sure politicians at the end of the day come back and realize the only way they can attain power, political parties to realize the only way they can gain power, as much money as this country may give them, the only way they can win votes is through by winning the majority. And the majority people need to have their demands set clear. You know, people can have different demands, so it's like a campaign in a way, but we're using alternative forms of media to do it as well. Like Donald Trump, how they want party in America, it's through that, because the mainstream media in America wouldn't allow Trump and his people in the media. They didn't advertise them much. So these people grew a movement through this online waves and all that till Donald Trump ended up taking power in America. You understand me? There's many
mhm,
different prong approach to it, but at the end of the day, is you have to win. Your demands need to be clear to the majority of the people, and the majority of the people need to agree as well. Like what happened in Mali, the people wanted France out. They wanted France out. that was movements that were not being pushed by the president online, like what happened in Ethiopia. You understand what I mean? So in Ethiopia, so the issue is there's this desynchronization between the African elite and the people. You understand what I mean? But it's going to be sorted. We're getting there. We just need African people to be more aware of the ills in their countries. You know, they will feel that they will feel the anger. They will soon, when they know where the ills are coming from, they will feel the anger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Mm, mm.
Thank you very much, Dart. My laptop just gave me a warning, so I'm gonna have to leave right now. But I hope to see you next week's Thursday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be around as long as I can fire. It's not if I can fire it around, I'm jumping off.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you very
okay.
much.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you, family, for making this night, and thank you everyone who joined this show. Please don't forget to fund on the GoFundMe page of One Africa. So please join us also in fundraising, in establishing, inaugurating a One Africa in Tanzania. Be part of it, be part of this history making process, and uh, may God keep us safe and healthy until we meet next week. Have a great week, everyone. Don't any suggestions you have, you can text it, email it, and also send it through WhatsApp. So everyone, it was an honor being with you guys and also discussing with you, uh, all of you, all of you. Thank you very much. So my battery is ending. I can't name everyone. So yeah. All right. Good night. This is it for Thursday Potential in Africa.